Imagine investing your life savings in a dream real estate project, only to find out that the government had other plans for your land. Now, this is a reality for most foreigners on the African continent. Let's discuss. Hello there, my name is Maaya. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, please make sure you subscribe. I mean, 70% of you guys don't subscribe. So what's happening? For more stories like this, do subscribe. Like, the channel is exciting. Check it out and subscribe. Now let's dive in. I came across this clip of a certain African American lady crying with all these news stations around her trying to ask her something, and I was actually quite touched. I wanted to find out why she was crying. Now, on watching the video, I found out that she invested over 700 billion or 7 billion into a real estate project in an estate, only to find out that the Nigerian government had other plans. That is, they had plans to build a coastal road through her project, right? Now, set the scene, right? You've gotten all your life savings, you've gotten all your money, you've decided to invest back on the continent, right? You're sending money back, you're slaving, you're sweating for this money, right? The land is clear, it's good, you've gotten the land, and guess what? The government now wakes up and decides, hey, we have plans to construct this road, and said road will pass through your land. Imagine that's the information that your lawyer has given you, right? Actually, when I first saw this video, I thought it was other African people who had scammed her, but only to find out it was the African government that was trying to kind of like defer or deter her from her dreams. I want you guys to watch the clip and then we get into the nitty-gritties.
My name is Dr. Kimberly Ellen Stark. I am from Chicago, Illinois, from the United States of America. And I'm here today on the grounds of that everything that I've worked so hard for, even from America to Nigeria. And as I love this country and I fell in love with this country, I chose to invest here. And as I saw today, before there were gates, as you can see behind us, now, as I come here today, I can see most of my dream and so many of our investments crumbled and shattered. I bought more than 6 plots, and I intend to buy more. But how can I trust the fact that the more I invest is not protected because of what's going on here? And what we are appealing today, and me as an American from Chicago, Illinois, I'm speaking directly in the camera. As I'm here appealing to the Honorable, the President of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to please.
You've heard it from this lovely lady. Her name is Dr. Kimberly, all the way from Chicago, Illinois. I hope I'm saying it right, but you've heard what she had to say. And I know the video doesn't explain, because for some reason, when I did my research all over the internet, no one was like going into depth of what was happening. I think people kind of thought that we would all understand what was happening. You know, that's why I said initially I thought it was African people doing her dirty, only to find out it was the African government doing her dirty. Now, I want to kind of explain it to some people who don't get it, because I understand the laws in the States or elsewhere are different from the laws in Africa or from the laws in each respective country, right? So I'll speak for Uganda. If the government decides to construct a road, and this road is going to be passing through either your land, or it's going to like have to demarcate, like take a piece of your land, if they're doing like a road extension or expansion, right? Then you will be compensated as an individual. Obviously, you have to go through the proper channels. You have to apply, let them know, my land is situated here and here. If you guys are gonna, cut into it, you have to compensate me, or alternatively, they actually do approach you for compensation, which takes some time. They approach you for compensation, and then They offer you what they have to offer. You do sign papers here and there, and then they go ahead to do something like this. Because I do remember in the earlier years, back when I was young, my granddad actually did get some compensation for a certain road they were constructing in Uganda. Now, I hope that paints a picture. There's something called an eminent domain. This is where governments can reclaim private land for public use, often with compensation. So basically, I think for Nigeria, let me quote you guys. Let me quote. For Nigeria, the Land Use Act of 1978 gives the Nigerian state government control over land, right? So I've set the scene. I've told you guys the story. I've explained what this sort of thing kind of means for most people. But I want us to like go into things like this, like, why is this a common problem? You may think this is something that doesn't happen, but you're going to be surprised when you find out that it does happen quite often, right? That so many people lose their property and even buildings, like their land and property over things like this. And if they are to get compensation, the compensation is not like is not in the same value with what the land is valued at. The government will say, hey, we see your land, we're planning to do something to build infrastructure needs, and this is how you can assist us, or this is what we're going to give you. And sometimes it's like if you go back and forth with them, then you are dragged to court. It's a long process, so most times most people do end up accepting the compensation. And for some, if you do not accept the compensation, they go ahead and demolish and destroy your property and then say that we told you or you didn't listen. As you can see, there's like a clear path of miscommunication. As you can see, there's like a clear miscommunication between both parties. We can see that there's a miscommunication between the government, and we can see that there's a miscommunication between the private investors. It can be a miscommunication, it can be so many things, but it does happen, it does happen. And I do stories like this to also let you guys know that I do have a company called Maaya Consultancy, and if you happen to be my client, then we would obviously make sure that things like this never happen to you. So information is down in the description box to book a consultation if you do want to relocate, tour, or invest in Uganda. That being said, I like listening to podcasts because I am a podcaster in my other line of work. And there's a lady, I think she's an amazing podcast. I forget her name, but she was sitting down with the owner of Landmark. The gentleman was talking about how he only got 7 days notice, and then after the 7 days his hotel was demolished while guests were inside the hotel. You can imagine what harm that does. I want you guys to watch this bit of what happened to his hotel so that I can kind of get into how you guys can avoid certain things like that if you do acquire land, and how to go about it.
Noise in the background as I speak, and that's because about 2 minutes ago the demolition continued, with this wall right behind me being knocked down for the right of way for the Lagos-Calabar coastal road. Now, yesterday, the Landmark Group received a notification from the federal government stating that they would be coming today to demolish parts of Landmark that are in the right-of-way for the Lagos to Calabar coastal road. Where I'm standing is at Breeze Beach Club. This is actually the latest addition to the Landmark ecosystem, a members-only beach club that's not that old, and this is the ground zero for where the demolition is going to start taking place. Towards my right, inside Breeze Beach Club, they've already put markings there, marking spots for demolition, and it's expected that Breeze Beach Club will be demolished today. The wall behind me that's being demolished actually started last night, and the continuation is just happening now. You can see the level of sand filling as well that's going on right behind me. Now, this is worrisome because in as much as economic opportunity and economic diversification is important, when this property was acquired 17 years ago by Landmark, it was acquired as beachfront property. Landmark say that this was not the original route for the coastal road. The coastal road was supposed to be routed on the northern side of Landmark, which is called Water Corporation Drive. If you're familiar with this, we also know that this is a road that was revamped quite recently. So the question that Landmark ask is, why have a perfectly good road on the other side of our property, yet decide to build on this side instead? So demolition is expected to go on all day today. The Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi, is also expected to be at Landmark any moment from now to oversee these demolitions.
Guys, this was like a waterfront type of resort. And it was very, very expensive. It was valued highly. Imagine waking up and then the hotel is gone. And you can see that she mentioned that they had a road on the other side of the property. Why did the government now change its mind and decide to demolish that part of the property? And I feel like that sometimes, I feel like when governments do things like this, although on paper it is for the greater good, you have to question it. Like, why are you doing this now? Why are you changing your minds now? Like, shouldn't someone be told earlier or compensated earlier before you actually start the demolition? Why do you have to now demolish things like in such a close, time? Like inside, like if they give them 7 days to demolish, that's letting them know, hey, we're coming to demolish. What were they going to do in those 7 days? People have booked months in advance. Activities have been booked months in advance. Like that poor planning on the side of the government, sometimes it does affect the people, although on paper it looks like it is for the greater good, because infrastructure does help everyone in the long run, right? Now let's talk about the impact on her business, right? We talk about financial losses. Like I've just said, imagine you're waking up to like your $30 billion or more beachfront property, and then you're being told it's going to be demolished and you're going back to zero. Like even the thought of it just hurts my spirit, because you can imagine what investors have to go through, the risk of that. I don't know how the owner, I've inserted a clip of him. I don't know how the owner still manages to smile, because the pressure would just finish whoever is in charge of something like that. So, but I liked that he's in good spirits. I want to give you guys an update on that, on what happened, right? But we're still talking about the financial losses that can be happen. We're still talking about the financial losses of what can occur. By the way, guys, like acquiring land is not like a one-off process. So you go to acquire land, you have your lawyer fees, your legal fees, you have your surveyor fees, you have like a lot goes into purchasing land that I guess most people don't know about that. But on top of the land having its particular value, there's so many things you have to do to make sure you acquire the land the right way. So all that is money that is going out. All those are losses, right? I have a friend that offered to buy her land, and she told me, Janita, everything that I went through to get this land, I'm not letting it go right now. And the person wasn't even offering that much money. The audacity of some people. But we also talk about the emotional toil on everything. Like you saw the lady crying right there. You can imagine how disheartening it is to uproot your money from where it is. It was safe where it is, and you said, let me take a leap of faith, and do something like this and acquire this property. It's going to be in my family. She acquired 6 plots and she's planning on acquiring more, and she will acquire more, like she said. But the fact that she has been, to her, it feels like a betrayal. The government has betrayed her because she put in her sweat, tears and blood into this, and now you are taking it away just like that. No information whatsoever. Now, some information could have been passed through, but did the information reach the right person? Did the information reach the right person? Because that is the information that we also need to ask ourselves. Those are questions we need to ask ourselves. Like, did it get to her? Like, did she know about this? Did she know that the demolition was about to happen, right? That is important. So on top of everything, there's financial loss, there's emotional loss. It can be quite a lot for someone. Now, I told you guys, after they demolished this property, guess what? Guess in the comment section. Guess what? The government woke up and said they don't need to use that route anymore. They demolished this man's property, valued highly. And then they went back and told him, hey, we don't need to use this route anymore because this particular route has internet cables. I think internet cables or submarine. So because they couldn't use that particular route, because that particular route had submarine cables that were bringing in the internet connectivity. And if they tamper with those, then that means the country wouldn't have internet. Do you see what's happening? Do Do you know the pain you would have to go through as an investor to hear something like that? So you decided to demolish someone's land to do ABCD without making sure you had covered all your bases before you destroyed someone's property? I hope he sues them.
After destroying the landmark beach resort infrastructure worth over 42 billion naira because of Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway, the federal government has announced its decision to abandon the supposed Lagos Coastal Highway due to the presence of submarine cables along the coastline. The government has decided against the diversion, which would have disrupted the internet connectivity and led to the demolition of ancestral homes in Okun Aja community. Now, the question on people's lips is, why would government destroy the investments that contributes billions to Lagos State's tourism sector for nothing? Why? No, tell me why, because the whole thing is no longer making sense at all. Why? I don't want to bring in tribalism in this issue, but isn't it obvious that this is discrimination at its peak? Is it because the man is an Igbo man? Is it because the nearby Atlantic Echo City? Can someone explain lucidly this wickedness? Someone left abroad and came down to his supposed beloved country and invested billions. This man labored assiduously to raise such a magnificent resort that screams luxury and exotic, only for it to be destroyed in 6 days. Jesus Christ, this is so unfair. To even think that it was his Igbo brother that hastily ordered the demolition without proper environment impact assessment. This is unbelievable. What about thousands of workers that lost their job following the demolition? Despite the high unemployment rate, no consideration was given before the resort was reduced to ruins. I'm really devastated at the moment. The most painful aspect is that Landmark pleaded with the federal government following the initial plan of the project. Telecoms had told the federal government that the submarine cables were laid on the coastal lines and would be destroyed if they go on with the realignment. Despite knowing all this, Landmark was still destroyed. Well, its mission precisely completed. Nigeria is a wonderful country. Nigeria is really a wonderful country. It is well.
I like how she asked that question. Why? Why would the government decide to do something like that? And this gentleman said how in the previous year he had just paid 10 billion in taxes. Why would you? If you're in this channel, you know all the time that I talk about cash cows. I do talk about cash cows on this channel. I talk about how you need to let your cash cow grow and get fatter so that you can keep getting more milk from it. Why would you as an individual wake up one day to destroy your cash cow? It's not connecting, but these are things that do happen on the continent sometimes, and it's happening in Nigeria, but that doesn't mean it's not happening in Uganda. It's because here we're not documenting things like we need to do, right? So what lesson are you learning from this? You know, what lessons are we learning from this? Like you as a foreigner or an investor watching me, what lesson are we learning from this? The one thing, what lesson are you learning from this to avoid similar cases? I would say verify your land titles. Guys, I made a whole video about how to avoid land scams in connection to my big sponsor, Maaya Consultancy, which helps people relocate, invest, and tour Uganda. Shout out to them. Them is me, because you know what, let's move on. So basically I in that video I talked about verifying land titles. Guys, no one should lie to you. No one should lie to you about anything. You need to verify your land titles. If you get the thought of buying land, ask for the plot number, ask for the land details. Get your trusted lawyer. By the way, my ebook has a lawyer in it. Get who I trust. That is my lawyer. Yes. Get a trusted lawyer. The said trusted lawyer is going to go to the Ministry of Lands and verify this land that the seller claims is his. Is it his? Is it in his names? Proper names? Is it with his national ID? I guess for you guys would have security, social security numbers. We have national identity numbers, right? So I hope you're listening. Before you do anything, please verify your land titles. You need to verify your land titles, right? On top of you verifying if this seller is who he says he is, you're also verifying, does the government have plans to do something with this within the said land? Now, I don't know about Nigeria, but for Uganda, so guys, as you can see the title here, most times when you get your land title, it shows you your neighbors, but then it shows you where the road is going to pass. And that is so important for you to know as a future landowner. You need to understand, if the government is planning to put a road, where will the road go? If it's not just a road, where will the road go? It's like a local government type of thing where they'll say, okay, you know what? We'll put a tiny road here through your land, because you may build your house only to find out you built your house in the path of a road. And guess what? They're going to demolish it. They won't even have mercy. They're going to demolish the land. That's why in everything that you do, you need to verify your land titles. Verify, cross-check, double-check, triple-check, fourth check. Check, is the seller who he says he is? Check, what is the government planning to do with that land? Is it planning to put a road? Is there a road? So that you can also know, if there's a road, I do not want to construct in the road reserves. So you need to know if the government plans to put a road and if they're also road reserves. So you need to be really careful with such things. You need to be on your A game. You need to consult local experts. You need to work with people, trusted lawyers, trusted surveyors, people you can trust, people you can talk to. Like, have a trusted person on top of a trusted person. Should person A be funny, you have a trusted person in person B, so that you can get your land and make sure your land is protected. Because hey, I want to think that if you're purchasing land, you're having your kids' future in mind. So it's things like that that are really important. Shameless plug, I have a whole ebook. It has a land surveyor, it has a land lawyer, a lawyer, and so many other things, other tools that you can use in your land purchase. If you do not want to book a consultation and have us talk one-on-one, so that I can like sort of guide you into things like that. Also, understanding something as simple as like zoning laws, plans of that area. You also need to understand the zoning laws. Like, what is the plan for that area? What is the government actually planning to do in said area, so that you can like be on the lookout, so that you can know. If the government is saying, oh, we plan to construct a road there, and then you think that they will wait the 5 years and then construct said road 5 years. But guess what? You will be affected because you did some development in the 5 years thinking the government won't do anything. And then here you are. So be vigilant, verify land titles, consult local experts, understand the zoning laws in whatever area that it is that you're going to buy the land. Last but not least, expect the unexpected. I am so sorry that I'm here today to deliver the bad news, but things can go south really quick. Things can change, right? So just be on the lookout and on the guard, and like I wanted to say have a few people in your pockets, but we're not encouraging corruption here, so no. But just like be prepared, because you never know what can happen, and be prepared with certain solutions to get you out of certain scenarios, right? So yeah, that is it from me, guys. Let me know what you think of this episode. Do you guys like it? Do you guys like this type of episode, so that I can know, should I continue doing the research for you guys, or should I just move on to better things? You are my customer. Please do tell me what it is that you do like. But I don't mind talking about things like this, because I founded a whole company based on things like this, because I was so tired of people getting scammed, people losing their money, and that's where Maaya Consultancy was birthed. And I'm here to help. Maaya Consultancy, to book a consultation with me, or one-on-one, or get an ebook from me, and so it's things like that is why I'm here. I'm here for you. Also, don't forget to purchase my merch. Uganda looks good on me, like what I'm wearing right now. No, Uganda is calling, so I must go, and Uganda looks good on me, so I'm just confused. But yeah, and I guess I will see you guys next time. Have I missed something? Make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Follow me on all my social media pages at Janita Maaya. And I guess I'll see you next time. See you in the next one. Bye.